Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lillian Live in New York on Well World TV, wellworld.tv. Today we have another awesome guest. She's a very good friend of mine. They all are. Her name is Lisa Kapnick, and I've known her for a very long time. We actually met at Equinox many years ago, and she is now a board certified health coach. And, even back then when people, I don't even know if there were health coaches back then. We're talking about like almost 30 years ago. She was way ahead of the curve. And so today she has some awesome insight and some tips. Um, so Lisa specializes in clean eating and healthy lifestyle with a strong emphasis on functional nutrition. She's going to tell us what that is for those of us that don't know what that is. Um, she does not treat or diagnose, but rather she finds healing opportunities through lab work. So the examples are the adrenal glands, your hormones, and this is all the testing. And then she finds healing opportunities through these tests. After the test, the labs show what to work on, how to work on it, where to look next, how to get deeper and closer to the cause. So Lisa is like a little detective. Um, she always loved to help people, and everybody would come to her with all of their ailments. Being so involved with her family business, she didn't have any time to go back to school until one day she decided to do something for her. Lisa researched different programs and found Integrative Institution for Nutrition to be one of the best, and now she can truly help her clients and friends. So without further ado, join me in welcoming Coach Lisa. And to find out more about what I'm up to, check it out at HPV Alliance. Okay, welcome, Lisa.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh,
Good. How you doing?
great. So nice to see you.
It's so nice to see you. You look terrific.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
Always did.
Oh,
Um,
sweet.
yeah, I'm just so excited because, I feel like everything you've done and do is always successful, everything you touch. And, I just remember way back, I remember when I had like parties, you were always, you would talk to me about certain foods and teas and, eating a certain way. So you really were ahead of the curve. Um, I know at the time that we met, actually, you were before that, you were a dental hygienist, and then you were overseeing customer service at your husband's appliance and kitchen showroom at Appliance Driven. So, what made you change your career path? And I would love if you could tell me more about it.
Okay, so it's a very interesting question because it's almost like I woke up one day, I looked at my life, and I said, I do so much for everybody. I'm helping to run my husband's business. I'm taking care of my children. What do I really love to do? And I love to help people. And between my friends and my family, everybody would come to me for every ailment that they have had over the years. And I always love to help, and I'm the first person to help somebody. And I just woke up one day. I said, I'm going to go back to school and be a health coach. I didn't even know what a health coach was. So I started researching, and like you said, I found IIN, which is a great school. I did an accelerated course. It was a year course I did in 6 months.
Oh,
Yeah, it was great. I finished the course. I took my international exam, and then I proceeded to take my board certification. So it's been really great.
wow. So it's normally a year and you did it in 6 months.
I did. I did it in.
Because you took extra classes?
I just no, there's an accelerated course. It's just more hours per week.
Uh-huh.
I have that personality. When I get my mind set to something,
Oh,
I need
yeah.
to
Look out. Look out, because when you do something, you're doing it like full throttle. Now
That's
that's awesome.
exactly what happened. So it's been a really, really great experience. I met such great people, helping a lot of people, and it's just been great because it's effortlessly for me because I just enjoy it.
Did you learn? I knew you already knew a lot of things about nutrition. Were you ever like when you were in class and with all the things you learned, were you were you really surprised at a few things or any new things?
Um, in school, I knew a lot of what they were teaching, but what I learned a lot was actual coaching. Because what a health coach does is they empower clients, they motivate clients to succeed in whatever goal that they have to change in health and wellness. So I learned a lot more about that. So what I needed to step back and listen more, and
Yeah.
I had to listen more and go with what the client wanted, not what I wanted to teach the client, which I have so much knowledge in my head that I want to share, but I can't do that. So I really have to just go with what the goals are of the client. So it's been great.
You know, it's really, really important. You made a point about the listening, and it's really important because, you're doing an assessment, a needs assessment of, what the client needs, wants, and it's important because we can't kind of give a one size fits all, even though you want to like burst out with all your information. Um, what, what kind of complaints, what kind of things are you seeing from the clients?
I am seeing mostly stress because stress causes so much damage in the body. So people complain about digestive issues, sleep issues, weight gain, no energy. But it all comes down to is stress. So if you can manage the stress, a lot of these things can go away with a lot of support with diet and exercise, stress reduction.
Do you think stress is the major as opposed to it's one part stress, it's one part how you eat, it's the other part that you're not sleeping enough?
It's all connected. It's all connected.
Well, I can tell you that I mean I'm not a doctor, but I had my own cancer battle, and I can tell you that um I was definitely stressed, and I think that when you're stressed, it changes the body chemicals and the makeup and the molecules and everything, and I absolutely agree with that. Um, so um, now when so the most common is stress, you said, and what do you like? What do you? I mean, I guess some people are mildly stressed, and some people have like major stuff going on, like we're in a pandemic. What do you think? What do you do? What do you recommend?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that stress is their problem. They don't come to me as seeing me as a health coach to say I'm stressed, help me. They come for other reasons. But as we speak over the sessions, they come to their own realization that they're stressed. So when they
Mhm.
learn to reduce some of that stress, I do recommend one great breathing technique if you're interested in. It's very, very quick. And if you're on the go, so many people are so busy, they're multitasking. But if you can just sit still for a few minutes, and it's a breathing technique, it's called 4-7-8. So you sit down, you're quiet, you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 7 seconds, and breathe out for 8. You do it a few times, and it really calms down the parasympathetic nervous system, and then you can try and focus again. So it's just a little, it just helps.
I know breathing is really good for you, and I know even meditation. I know meditation's been used even in prisons. I want to go back to what you said earlier about when people come to you and you have to listen, and they're not coming to you about stress, but when you're listening to them. So that's the detective work that you're doing, that where you're digging deeper. You find that you're doing that all the time with the clients?
Well, it's interesting. So health coaching is great, and I love health coaching, but I really wanted to take it to another level because I felt that to really help my client, I have to investigate. And the only way to investigate, which I did, I investigated online to further my education, and I found FDN, which is Functional Diagnostic Nutrition. So I'm in school now. I have probably another couple of months, but this allows me to order diagnostic tests, functional tests, to really dig deeper to try and figure out what is going on with the client. So for an example, a client comes to me, I'm health coaching them, and they have digestive issues. We change their diet, we help with stress, we incorporate exercise, everything is great, they're healthy, but there's still something missing. So if you take a digestive stool analysis or a GI map, this client can have underlying issues. She could have bacteria, she can have a parasite, she can have leaky gut. So there's a number of things that you can find through these tests to really help the client. So I am super, super excited to start doing this, and it'll be a few more months. But right now, it's been great. I'm learning a lot, and these functional tests are amazing. I've been doing them for many years myself, so I know how great they can be.
That's awesome. So these are the tests that your regular MD is not doing.
Exactly.
Right.
Really need to go to a functional doctor.
Right. I remember when my dad was sick, and it was always like, okay, take this medication. It's always, our society is take a med and then you get side effects instead of preventive. And I remember back then talking to a lot of functional health coaches and asking them, what could I do instead of this? What could I do instead of that? And they recommended all different things. And that's awesome and so interesting what you're doing and what you're learning. It's too bad the regular mainstream MDs don't, well, many of them may be starting to incorporate, but it's too bad because it's really important, and it's information, and things are not always cured with another pill.
Right. What happens is with people, they search and they go to 5, 6, sometimes 7, 8 doctors to try and get answers. And the doctors what do they give? They give drugs.
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure things out, and really through diet, through exercise, through stress reduction and supplements when needed, you can really help somebody. And that's what I really love.
Right. Getting back to basics, your greens, your, whole foods and so on. But I mean, there are times when you do need medication, for example.
Of course. I'm not there to diagnose or treat in that fashion. I'm not a doctor, but I support. I'm there to support.
That's fantastic. And do you find your clients, when you're recommending, let's say, supplements or even diet and exercise, do you find them like looking at you like a deer in the headlights? And because sometimes I've had these conversations, and like, how do they not know this? How did they get to be this age and not know that, diet, exercise?
It's interesting that there are so many people that they really don't know. They just eat the standard American diet, and they really don't know from fruits and vegetables. They're still having a ton of sugar. It's amazing. And drinking soda, and they don't understand substitution. They're not drinking water, which is so important. So I really have to sometimes get really down to basics. It's all bio-individuality. Everybody's different. So some people are knowledgeable, and they need me to keep them accountable. They need me to be a cheerleader. And that's what I do. So for instance, if someone needs to lose weight, they can go to Weight Watchers, but they're not getting what I can provide for the client.
Right.
They can text me, they can call me and let me know what restaurant they're going to. I'll look at the menu. I'll help them with substitution. So there's a lot I can do. I keep them motivated, and that's what they love. And I love helping. And just to give you a quick story, I just had a client that came to me with high blood pressure, high sugar. I only saw him a couple of times, and he recently called me, and he's like, Lisa, he was telling me about how low his blood sugar is and his blood pressure and how he's eating. And it makes me feel so good that I can really help somebody.
This is your calling. I mean, thank God you woke up that day. I mean, this is your calling. I know people that were diagnosed with diabetes and they changed their eating habits, and now they don't have to take the medication anymore.
Exactly.
I mean, it's kind of that simple. I think I guess I was going to say, some people, I mean, you know what to do. You just need to do it. But then it's amazing to me when people are, oh, I had no idea I should be exercising. Or really? That eating three cakes a night? Oh, okay. Anyway, now that's awesome. And you know why you're going to be so successful, you already are, is because you love what you do.
I do.
And you're authentic, and people know that that you're the real deal. I know that people can find you on your website at venture2health.com right here. And they can also follow you on Instagram at venture2health with the number 2.com if they wanted to contact you for any for any sessions and so on. What do you think about the holidays coming up? Do you have anything specific that you would recommend?
The holidays are always tough for people. I always feel that in a holiday situation, it's okay to cheat a little bit. You have to enjoy your life as well, as long as it's not going to hurt you, in moderation. So if there is dessert, have a small piece. Don't have 3 pieces. But there's always exceptions to the rule, and it's all about how you feel. I mean, if someone is a diabetic, they're not having cake. So it all depends on what the person needs, but it's okay to cheat a little bit.
Do you cheat? Do you cheat?
That's a loaded question.
You don't have to answer that. Lisa and I are good friends for a long time, but that's okay. We don't have to put you on the spot.
I do, but not a lot. But I do cheat. Special occasions, I do.
But you know what? You've been living this way forever. So you're like a walking poster chart. You're a walking ad for this. You're not the person that is giving out advice and then going home and doing something different.
I'm walking the talk.
That's right. You're walking the talk. Walking the talk. And do you think that you have kids? How early? I mean, good eating habits but what about supplements in terms of how young for children?
Very young. Very young. When my kids were young, I used to give them liquid drops, liquid vitamin C, liquid multis. I also gave probiotics at a very young age. I started very, very young with them.
Wow.
And they do fight me from time to time, especially my little one. But my older one, I think all these years of drumming it into their heads, they're pretty good.
That's great. I mean, to bring kids up and make them aware of this, it's very important. What do you think about organic versus? I know there's the dirty dozen where there's a bunch of fruits that you really shouldn't eat. That you should eat organically. Like, what do you think about organic versus is it? What's your take?
I think it's super important to eat organic when you can, especially you mentioned the dirty dozen. That is so important to really stay away from regular fruit and vegetables. They are so high in pesticides, very, very high. And they add a lot of chaos in your system. Whether people feel it or not, it adds up. It's a cumulative effect in the body. So I feel very strongly about organic when possible.
I have a question about, I've been reading a lot and I see these comments about it's all about the gut.
Yeah.
Like everything starts in the gut. What do you say to that?
You brought up a very, very good point.
Because I'm smart.
That's right. You're very smart. 70% of the immune system is in the gut. And people don't realize that. If you do not have a healthy gut, you do not have a healthy body. So if you can get rid of digestive issues, it's amazing how much better you feel. You have more energy. You sleep better. It really is amazing, especially for me because I did have digestive issues growing up. And I think that's why I really got more into health and doing all these functional labs and looking at my results. It makes a very, very big difference.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I see it with my clients. When digestion is doing really well, they feel well. They're more motivated.
So what about like someone like me who I don't have any digestive issues. I feel fine. I'm not a perfect eater, but like what I want to say is, how does one like me know, well, maybe there's something wrong, or maybe I could be feeling even better? because I don't feel bad.
You have to go by how you feel, not on the paper. And this is one thing that I learned. Doctors treat paper. You can't treat the paper. You have to treat the person.
That's very interesting.
I want to give you an example. A friend of mine had an adrenal testing the cortisol stress levels, and her test came out where she was exhausted. She's not exhausted. She has so much energy, but in her stool test, it showed that she wasn't producing enough hydrochloric acid in her stomach. She wasn't digesting protein properly. So things interact differently in the body. So her doctor suggested, and it was a functional doctor, that even though her adrenals look like they're fatigued, she felt that it was coming from her stomach from lack of digestive enzymes. So it's interesting because she is not exhausted. And when you look at that test, I'm surprised she can get out of bed. So you can't treat the paper. You have to treat the person. It's really important.
Was it what the functional doctor thought?
This is all new, so we'll go to find out in 3 months.
Oh, wow. You know, I want to go to you. I want to go to you and have you do a whole workup on me because, you know, I believe in this 100%. I used to work for a health organization that was all about, well, you know, not, how do you call it? It's not the word alternative. The other word, I can't think. Yes, it was all about integration, integrative, and you know, and that's joy, being around friends, having time to yourself. It's all a picture, right? How about sleep? Sleep is really important.
Sleep is so important. And people do come to me with sleep issues, and a lot of it could be hormonal, but it all comes down to if you really listen to the client and you do the testing and you can see a correlation, it's stress. Everything comes down to stress.
Everything. But how we can't avoid stress.
We can't avoid stress, but we can do breathing exercises. Exercise is so important for stress reduction. Healthy diet, eating your greens, having fruits, limiting sugar. I really love an anti-inflammatory diet, which is it's hard for people. It's all baby steps. If someone is coming to you that's eating a ton of sugar, drinking soda, having a ton of processed food, I can't start talking about an anti-inflammatory diet because they won't even know what I'm talking about. So there's so much knowledge, but like I said, you have to really go with what the client wants. And then it progresses into more information.
What about people that come to you and they're smokers?
I haven't had anybody that had come to me that smoked, which is great.
Yeah, that's smoking's hopefully on the decline.
Yes, not smoking. I've had a client that drinks a lot of wine and has had very, very high blood sugar. And you can't tell someone that's drinking 4 or 5 glasses of wine a night on the weekends to just stop cold turkey. It's baby steps. So we said, okay, well, if you can have 1 glass of wine, and then we got him down to 0, which is great. He's doing great. He's doing great. It was too much sugar. There's so much sugar in red wine, and people don't realize that as well. It's not just your cakes and candies and your flour and the processed food. It's sugar. It's hidden sugars.
Hey, do you want to, because we mentioned the Dirty Dozen before we go to close, do you want to mention what the Dirty Dozen, at least we can give our viewers a tip, what the Dirty Dozen is and, you know, your suggestion.
Off the top of my head, the Dirty Dozen, strawberries, I know what's hot. Strawberries, apples, red pepper, cucumber, celery, spinach.
I mean, you don't have to do all of them, but
I don't know. That's from the top of my head.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Especially since I didn't prepare you on this.
No, you did. But you can Google it, and there's a list there of the Dirty Dozen. And if someone is not eating organically, I would suggest at least to look at this list and see if they can incorporate this into their diet. It's much healthier.
Wow. Well, you're the picture you're the picture of health, I have to say.
Oh,
I want to bring up Lisa's website again. If anyone would like to get in touch with Lisa, you can go to www.venture2 with the number 2 health.com, and you can speak with Coach Lisa. She's the detective, the health detective. And oops, I'm sorry. And Lisa, thank you so much. This was awesome.
thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and I can't wait to go to you when we can see each other again.
Anytime. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. And thank you so much, and we will talk soon. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you again, Lil.
Good night. Okay, everybody. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again next week. And don't forget to check me out at hpvalliance.org, and have a wonderful week. Take care.